on.
Oh, I got to turn this on.
Hey, there's a recording in progress. Does that mean we should be like saying something? Paul, do you turn your mic?
Oh, okay. Hey, I just need to warn you right now, in a pretty bad mood. So just don't mess with me.
Really? What happened? You okay? Something bad happened?
No frosted mini wheats left this morning. Pretty upset about it.
Did one of your grandkids eat the last bowl of frosted mini wheats?
Oh, don't even get into that.
Yeah, do you know what's the worst thing is? You pour the bowl of
and you had no milk.
And there's no milk.
Yes. Or not enough milk. And you put
so here's the thought for today. Do you call your neighbor?
It's that perfect milk to cereal ratio that's so important.
It is, it so is, but seriously, do you call your neighbor and ask for a cup of milk for your cereal? Or
my neighbor's too far away to have to get in the car and drive.
That's true. You're true. Mine's attached to my house because I'm in a townhouse is. So I could, but the problem is I'm eating cereal probably too early in the morning. And that means, yeah. Hey, you know what I didn't check is, am I using the right? Oh, I muted myself, which is probably a good idea.
You sounded great. Do it again.
Hey, it's been a while since we've seen each other. I've been out in the Palouse having a good time. We had a fabulous group out in the Palouse. What have you been doing the last 4 or 5 weeks?
I've been in Hawaii.
Oh,
remember we were in Hawaii during.
Remember that?
Yeah. Had some excitement. I was off the coast and had a little shark drive by. That was fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, got to see a moray catch an octopus and eat them. That was fun.
Wow. Hey, that looks like a new image behind you, by the way. Is that a new image?
No, that's an old one. That's actually one that I think Apple licensed.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I don't ever know how they used it, but
yeah, because I've never seen it used. It would be fun to have a black and white image used for their screensaver.
I wonder if they have any black and whites.
I don't think they have. I think we should have a campaign to do that.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Well, first up, I thought what we'd talk about is, I'm just curious, I don't know if I ever asked you this, but what is your success ratio? Meaning, if you look at all the images that you have, I mean, is it 1 out of every 10? Is it 1 out of, every 12? I mean, what is your success ratio?
So is that one that sells or one that gets a like?
Oh gosh, so now we're all the way back to what is success?
What is success? But if I could interpret that to mean what is success to me, an image that I love. Yeah. I always say it's about 1 out of 1,000. I'll get about 1,000 clicks before I get one that I just really love.
Isn't that interesting? And that, I would think that's probably pretty true for me too. It's not hundreds or tens. Back in the film days, Cole, do you remember those days? Did you ever shoot film, by the way? You get a roll of 36, and to make it more complicated, typically you would bracket 3 images, right? So you would do plus a third minus a third and average, and metering was way more critical back in film days than it was because we have a histogram to help us nowadays. But people would just say, gosh, I've only got 3 rolls of film, and so there's 36, but there's really 36 divided by 3, because you're shooting 3. So and you thought you'd have a good success ratio because you had a limited supply of film. What's your thought about that compared to the digital, where we really don't think about how much film we have anymore?
Yeah, I'm grateful. I mean, I remember carrying multiple cameras for multiple types of film. And no, I love digital for the fact that I can, if I get a shot that I really love, I am shooting the heck out of it. Like I have one with that big plume coming out of with the power lines. I must have shot 200 shots there trying to get that plume exactly the way I wanted it. Yeah. And I couldn't have done that with film.
Yes. Number one, you never would have worked
out. I couldn't have gotten them without the immediate feedback.
That's right.
What are you going to do? Go to Poland, shoot, process the film, and then go back and then go back and go back till you get it right? No.
No. Yeah, I think I feel liberated with digital. Film, I probably didn't shoot sometimes when I should have been.
What do you mean?
Meaning I was hoarding that film saying I've
Oh,
only got X amount left.
yes,
The light's not quite
yes,
right. Light's not quite. Oh crap! The
yeah,
light never happened. But it did happen 4 images ago. If I had clicked the shutter, So to me, now there's the opposite. We'll talk about here in a minute. But to me, digital has liberated me to experiment more. To, like you say, man, when I fall in love with something, oh man, I'm on that. I'm going to photograph it low, high,
yeah.
different angles, left and right, different focal lengths, whatever, right? Different framings. I'm going to work that subject, which is great. But another saying that my friend Tony Sweet says is, digital has sort of made us editors too,
Yeah.
right? So we shoot a zillion and then we go, let's find the right one. And I don't think that's necessarily best practice, right? So if that's what you're doing, if you're shooting a lot of images in digital, hoping to get one good frame, I would encourage you to maybe rethink that process. It's okay to fine tune a vision that you have for that image, but to hope that a blind squirrel finds a nut is probably not the best approach.
Well, let's go back to your success rate. So you would take the number of shots you've taken and divide it by the number of good ones. So
Yeah.
with a denominator of 0, John, what number do you come up with?
Well, actually, remember Dan told me I have one good image,
Okay.
right? And for those who haven't heard this story, this is a great story. So Dan again was my tour partner for 40 tours together, and he
Throw
passed
it in
away.
my face again.
Yeah,
Geez.
again, he was my
Dan's
favorite
better than
tour
Cole.
leader and my best friend. Anyways, one day I finally decided I succumbed to using Lightroom, and he says, why would you use Lightroom? You only have one good picture. Put it on your desktop. You'll
You
find
can
it.
find it.
So he, like you, felt
Uh,
like I only had one good photograph. But in all seriousness, if you do take, I don't know, in my Lightroom catalog, see, you're not a Lightroom guy. I can
no.
quickly look and see that I've got whatever, 276,000 images in my Lightroom catalog. If I had to divide by how many of those are in my folders that say those are my JPEG folders that I may share with
Yeah.
Instagram audience or something, I bet it's less than 10%. Less than
Another
10%.
thing I've heard from people, they go through your website and they go, "Oh man, every image you take is a great one." And I tell them,
Yes.
"No, every image I show you is a great one. I don't let you see the garbage." And people are surprised that I have, basically a whole trash bin full of garbage images that didn't work.
Way more garbage images than keepers is what we're saying,
Way,
right? So
way more.
let's kind of get to what I would say might be the meat of this discussion and where I hoped it would go to. To me, we should be encouraging a process, not I don't honestly care about what my hit
Ratio
ratio, my
is, yeah.
keeper ratio. I've never looked. It came up, somebody asked about it, and I thought I would at least bring it up as a discussion. What I care about is that I'm paying attention to my process. What am I doing? How am I responding to what's turning my head, making me say, wow, all those things? And then how do I engage in that process to then hopefully get an image that meets with the vision that I had for that scene when I encountered it? So if that means that one's going to, like you said, take 200 photographs, because that's what it took to get the plume to be just right, or whether it's 3. I don't care, honestly. I know. And by the way, let's add this to the discussion. Do you know kind of when you have it? Do you ever get that
Oh yeah,
feeling of, whoa, this is, yeah.
but sometimes you got that feeling and you go home and it's not there, and I don't know what that's about.
That
You think,
sucks.
yeah, you think this is going to be great. You're anxious to get home and sit in front of the computer, look at it, and
I
it's better in
know.
my mind than it.
What is that? That's, I hadn't thought about that, but that does stink. It really does. But there is a euphoric feeling, man, when you're
Oh
there and
yeah,
the light's right and the composition's right and a cloud shadow. I was just out in the Palouse, and cloud shadows are phenomenal because it breaks up the monotony of monotonalic green hills, right? And
yeah,
it makes it darker and a lighter. And man, that happens, and it happens to hit the tree just right, and you trip the shutter. And people know me in the field. You know me because you work with me in the field. I get pretty excited about it. I'm pretty vocal about it. And that's a really, really good feeling when that all comes together. But anyway.
the whole idea of what is your ratio, success ratio? It really is unimportant.
Yeah.
But I guess it's helpful to let other people know that not every shot we take is a great one. Most are bad ones.
Yeah.
And we're really lucky and grateful when we get a good one. I tell my wife, we'll go on a trip and I'll say, if I can come home with just one image that I really love, I'll be happy.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is a terrible feeling to come home. You know, you go to some faraway place and you come home with nothing.
Yes.
But there's a whole new topic, the pressure you put on yourself
Oh my
on some of
gosh.
these trips and
Yeah.
how destructive that is to the creative process.
Well, then, and add to that quagmire, as my friend Ricky Cook would say, that you're a professional photographer, only because I make a living at it. That's another layer of pressure. Add to that that you're standing next to the incredible, brilliant Cole Thompson,
Who's an amateur.
who's an amateur, but a brilliant photographer. And you're saying, gosh, I hope, and I mean this sincerely, guys, I'm not joking this time. It happened to me with when I was Mitch DeBrowner too, when I was standing with him and he was a co-leader. I mean, that's in my head all the time. Oh my gosh, am I going to come out of here with an image that's going to be great? Because I know Cole will, I know Mitch will, I know Chuck will, those.
Hey, for all you know, they may, excuse me, they may be standing there thinking, oh my gosh, I need to perform. John's invited me on this tour and he's expecting me to come back with something great. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody
That's
feels the pressure.
good discussion. Well, let's wrap this one up now so we can, and let's continue the discussion in our next show.
Hey, and before I forget, I'm going to say it out loud. There's a good topic. Professional versus amateur. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
like that one.
Hey, write that down while I say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.